Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke and today I'm going to be rating my favorite and least favorite Disney animatronics. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, there are so many animatronics across all of the Disney World theme parks in so many different rides, shows, and attractions, and a lot of them are extremely advanced. Something about Disney animatronics is Disney is so good at creating animatronics that are extremely advanced for their time. So many animatronics that even now seem a little bit outdated at the time when they were created in the Disney World parks were absolutely iconic and mesmerizing. I don't know, Disney is just so known for their animatronics. A lot of people have created like Twitter accounts, Instagram accounts for various animatronics pretending they're like people. I saw it in the Imagineering story. They're coming out with even more spectacular ones in the future and I'm so excited for that. But today I'm going to be rating my top 5 least favorite animatronics and my top 10 absolute favorite animatronics in Disney World. I was just gonna do 5 of each, but then I realized I have so many absolute favorite animatronics that I just had to do 10. So I'm gonna be rating them for you guys and talking about them today. And if you are watching this video, I want you to comment down below which animatronic in Disney World is your absolute favorite, whether it's on my list or not. Maybe it's one I forgot about or just didn't think of, or one I haven't experienced before. Let me know down below which is your favorite animatronic. So sliding right into this with the worst animatronics in Disney World, at number 5 we have the Yeti in Animal Kingdom in Expedition Everest. This Yeti was amazing when it first came out. It would swoop down at guests, it would move. However, as many people know, the Yeti no longer works and it is unrepairable because they would basically have to deconstruct most of the entire Mount Everest to be able to fix the Yeti, which is why it is on my worst animatronics list. Obviously, this was not very well thought out because the Yeti broke very soon after the attraction opened and they haven't been able to fix it and it's kind of a mess. Disco Yeti is just not my vibe. I'm not into it. I feel like there was just some really bad planning there. On top of that, you don't even see the Yeti sometimes. Like, I know so many people who will ride Expedition Everest for like the first time, second time and be like, wait, where was the Yeti after it's over? Like, some people don't even see it. Like, it's not that great, and that's just the Yeti. At number 4, we have this little gopher groundhog guy on Splash Mountain. This guy has caused a little bit of controversy in the past because no one knows what he's saying. As your boat is going underneath, he pops out and he says something, and there are so many different theories about what he says. No one actually knows for sure. Some people think he is saying achoo. Some people think the gopher is sneezing, and some people think he's saying FSU because the person who worked on it went to FSU and it's like a stan thing. But I have no idea. Honestly, every time I go on this attraction, I see him pop up, he says his words, he distracts me from what else is going on. I don't like it, I don't appreciate it. I'm constantly thinking about what is this guy actually saying. It annoys me that I don't know, and I will never know. We'll never know. At number 3 spot, we have this fish in Finding Nemo, Under the Seas with Finding Nemo, that ride. I have a couple issues with this fish. So first off, he never works. It's like hit or miss when you go on the ride if this fish is actually working. 9 times out of 10, he is not. He is stationary, nothing's happening. When nothing is happening, you go through that section of the ride and you're just bored. There's really not that much to do. Disney has not done a good job at fixing it, and he just seems to be broken relatively all the time. However, when he is not broken, I don't like him still because he is just not pleasant to look at. He's a little scary. He low-key still scares me sometimes when I go in and he's like moving around and I'm like, maybe not. I really just don't appreciate his presence overall. I think the attraction could have done without that scene entirely. It's just not my thing. At number 2, this is going to upset some people, we have the Trump animatronic in the Hall of Presidents. I feel like I don't really have to explain this one too much, but just looking at it aesthetically, it really doesn't fit in with the other animatronics at all. The way Trump's voice is structured when he speaks as he's talking during the show, it doesn't work. It just doesn't blend in. He does not fit in with the other presidents. And if it disappeared one day, I wouldn't be torn up about it. And then the number 1 animatronic, which is the animatronic that I literally like the absolute least in Walt Disney World, is the Hopper animatronic in It's Tough to Be a Bug. This thing scares me. This thing terrifies me. I am not a bug person. I do not like bugs. And then you have this giant grasshopper that is literally the same size as me, moving around threatening to kill me. I'm not okay with that. That's just like not okay with me on so many levels, and that show in itself is not okay with me. But you get the Hopper animatronic, and like, he could take me. All the robots were to come alive, he is the one I would fear for the most. Now's the fun part where we have my top 10 favorite animatronics of all time in Walt Disney World. I love these animatronics so much. At number 10, we have Big Al. I love the Country Bears. I love their songs. I think it's so funny. I love them so much. Though the Bonnet Bears have like the best song in my opinion, Big Al is the best animatronic because of how he's set up. He's so kind of quirky and just lovable right off the bat, and his song is so funny. And I just love Big Al. Like, positive vibes radiating all around. At number 9, we have the hippo in It's a Small World. I look at this hippo every time and I love him because it's been years now and he still isn't fixed, and he's just like looking like I can't even do it, but I love him because he's so quirky, and I look forward to seeing him every single time I go on It's a Small World. He's so cute and so funny, and I feel like you go on Small World and you know about the hippo. Like, I feel like that's just an iconic thing everyone knows about. You're like, the hippo in It's a Small World, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I know, the one with like the lazy eye. He just looks so chill and relaxed, and I feel so many good vibes when I see that hippo. Next we have John Progress, which is of course the one, the only John from the Carousel of Progress. He is absolutely iconic, but my favorite scene with John Progress is the one where he's holding up the sign with Niagara Falls. Maybe it's because I'm from near Niagara Falls. I have no idea, but I just love that scene. I love how he just like waves his little sign around. John Progress just rates such high energy and such innovation, and he just has such a high spirit, and I love listening to him. You can just listen to him talk forever. Like, I would go around Carousel of Progress like 6 times. I would definitely do that. That is definitely something I would do. And I would just listen to John Progress speak, and I love John so much. He's so great. Next up, we have Mr. Potato Head. I remember seeing him the first time in Toy Story Mania, and I absolutely adored him right from the start. He is a giant Mr. Potato Head that talks to you while you are in the queue line. I think that's so cool. And he actually talks to you. Like, yes, he does have some pre-programmable phrases or whatever, but he like can see you and identify you. Like, he'll be like, yo, the girl in the blue shirt, or whatever he says, but he can actually like see and talk to you, and you can have a like kind of like an interactive conversation with him. I think that's so unique. And on top of that, the fact that he is in the queue line and not in an actual attraction, I thought that was so cool of Disney to be able to integrate something like that into the queue. I'm not sure if this is a thing over at California too. Maybe not. I've never been there. But I think it's so cool to be able to integrate that into the queue. It makes the queue a lot more fun, a lot more interactive. Every time I go through, I usually go through with a fast pass because I'm not down to wait like 60 minutes for Toy Story Mania, but every time I go through with the fast pass, I'm always like looking over the thingy, like watching Mr. Potato Head as I'm walking by. I love Mr. Potato Head, 12 out of 10. At number 7, we have the It's a Small World hula dancers. Every time I go through It's a Small World, I'm always like, if I saw one of these animatronics at Cast Connections or something, or if for some reason, I hope they never do, but if they got rid of It's a Small World and auctioned off all the ones, which prop or which animatronic would I want? And hands down, it would be the Small World hula dancers. Those girls are so cute, and they just look so pretty in their little hula skirts going back and forth. Like, I just adore them. I look forward to seeing them. It's just so serene, and the Hawaiian music, and just reminds me of like the Polynesian and Hawaii, and they just give off such good vibes. At number 5, we have the lady who is chasing the pirate with a broom in Pirates of the Caribbean. I adore her so much because she is so brave. Like, that is a whole story right there. She has her home and all her things, and these pirates come in to rob her or take her jewels or whatever they're doing, and she is like, heck no, and grabs a broom and starts chasing and beating these guys. And that is iconic right there. That is hard female power. Stand up for yourself. She is not giving in to those men. She is not letting them take her stuff. She is standing up for herself. She knows she can take them, and she is going to do just that. At number 4, we have Rover, the longest living dog in the history of the planet, living through decades, my friends, and he is iconic. I love his bark. I love how he sits there. I love when you sit in one specific seat in the very front row. In every single scene, it looks like Rover is like staring into your soul, and I just really appreciate that. Like, I would be honored to have Rover stare into my soul. I think that's something we can all benefit from. Obviously, he's a dog, he's happy, his tail goes back and forth. He blinks also all the time, which is like so extra that Disney did not need to do that, but they're like the little details, you know, the little details. And when he barks and the lights turn on, and I just adore Rover. Next up, we have Sven licking the post in Frozen Ever After. I feel like this is definitely an underrated animatronic. I feel like a lot of people kind of look over this because they're excited to go see Elsa. They kind of miss Sven over in the corner with his tongue stuck to a post. I do have a lot of questions about this though, mainly because Kristoff was an ice harvester, so Sven would have been around a lot of ice, so in theory he would have realized the concept of tongue sticks to things. But either way, his pure and innocent soul has his tongue stuck to the post, but he's not even upset about it. He's just like living his best life. He's like, this is okay, this is fine, I'm in a predicament, but I'm still happy to be alive. And that is just vibes that I think we all need to take up on a little bit. Whatever happens, he is so happy, even if his tongue is hanging out of his mouth, stuck to a giant pole in the freezing cold weather. He is still happy to be alive, and I think that is just a great life lesson, to be honest. At number 2, we actually have this spaceship Earth girl from the computer scene. I adore her. She is smart, she is working. I adore that they put a woman in that scene and not a man. She's got all the computer buttons. Like, she's smart and she knows what's going on, and I literally aspire to be her. Finally, at number 1, we have the most obvious animatronic for the number 1 spot, which is the Na'vi Shaman. If you have not seen her, it is actually wonderful. Like, every time I see her, I am just absolutely mesmerized with the fluid motions of her arms and how well she's designed. I could sit there in a boat in Na'vi River Journey and just watch her for hours sing that song over and over again. If you have not seen her in person, photos just do not stack up, and neither does video. She's absolutely ginormous, this animatronic. Like, she's so tall if she were to stand up, and she's just has this whole fluid motion going with her entire body while she's like singing, and like I believe she even has like a little bit of a breathing motion going on to her too. It looks so utterly realistic. Like, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure it is not real. That ride was so well done on so many levels, and she is just the absolute cherry on top of it. So I hope you enjoyed my personification of all of these animatronics and my thoughts on them. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Like I said, comment your favorite animatronic down below in the comments. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I hope you have a magical rest of your day.